I am ready when you are.
Surprisingly not the weirdest thing someone has said to me during a food challenge.
Hey everyone, I'm at the Nest Diner in Farwell, Michigan. It's in the mid-Michigan area around Clare and Mount Pleasant, and I'm here to take on their Sherminator Challenge. The best way I can describe this thing is a love child between a Philly cheesesteak and a breakfast platter. It all starts with an 18-inch long loaf of Batard bread, which is, it looks like it's kind of like that chewy English muffin kind of texture. And then they layer this thing with shaved beef, green peppers, onions, mushrooms, cheese, and then 5 eggs cooked to order, and then all topped with a bunch of corned beef hash. In addition to that, I also have a pound of fries on the side. They're gonna give me about 30 minutes to finish this. If I can get it all down in 30 minutes, I get a sweet t-shirt, and I think my name goes up on the wall of fame. I think they've said about a dozen people have finished the challenge, so hoping to add my name to that list. So let's go in and see what I can do.
So I'll start out by saying that out of all the food challenges I've ever done, this might be one of the tastiest. I was originally concerned that, the ingredients, they seem like they're kind of haphazardly put together, but the combination was fantastic, especially the runniness of the eggs. I'm really glad I ordered them over easy, but you had that nice runny yolk. The corned beef hash was nice and salty, and then you pair that with all the elements of a Philly cheesesteak, and I was very impressed with the quality of the sandwich. All things considered, one of the best sandwiches I've ever had, period. And that says a lot. I love me a good sandwich, and I've eaten more than my fair share. That being said, I definitely had to take it apart because it was smoking hot. So had to be a little careful there, especially the fries. I definitely got a few first-degree burns on the roof of my mouth working through this one. Now, you may be wondering why on earth I would film a food challenge video like this in vertical format versus horizontal like most of the other ones. There's a really good reason that I'll talk about in a minute. As was mentioned earlier, challengers have 30 minutes to complete this entire challenge. However, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm never content with just beating the time set by the restaurant. I also have to go after whoever has completed the challenge in the fastest amount of time. To my knowledge, that record is held by Nathan Klein, who knocked out this sandwich and fry combo in a mere 15 minutes, 13 seconds. So let's see if I had what it took to terminate his record and replace it with my own. So back to my earlier mentioning of why I shot this in an aspect ratio of 9:16. This challenge was a little bit special for me in that it was the first challenge where both of my parents got to see me in action, which was a really unique perspective for me because a lot of people say, Charlie, you eat a ridiculous amount of food. How do you do it? And when the food was brought out, my parents looked at me and go, that's it? You can eat that. Which was kind of refreshing, kind of humbling, because they've seen me eat, well, for the first 18 years of my life, most of the meals I've had, and they know how much I've always been able to eat. So it was kind of funny getting their perspective, and the kids got a kick out of that. If you ever have the pleasure of visiting the Nest Diner, you'll quickly realize that many of the tables are very closely packed together because so many people go there because their food is amazing and their service is fantastic. So it's funny that we had 3 adults and 2 kids. We were able to be squeezed into one of the last tables that happened to be open. And when I was setting my camera up, there just wasn't enough room to film it properly zoomed out in a 16:9 ratio. For my next food challenge video, however, there was no way getting around it. I needed the full widescreen to fully appreciate how massive this was. My biggest challenge to date. How much pizza would you be willing to eat for $100 and eternal glory? In this summer's hottest challenge, I attempted to devour an 18-inch supreme pizza designed to serve 6 to 7 normal humans or one person who has completely lost their mind. Big money was on the line for anyone who could stomach this 7-pound, perfectly prepared party pizza. Mouths were burned, stomachs stretched to the limit, and sanities questioned at every bite. Could I succeed in a challenge so wrought with failed attempts that they have 2 walls of shame? Stay tuned to find out.
I regret nothing.
That may not be entirely true. I was absolutely miserable for the rest of the evening after that challenge. And speaking of dough, I'd really be remiss if I didn't talk about the Batard bread for this challenge. I'd never heard of Batard bread before, so looking into it, I found out that it's a French term. You don't need to be fluent in French to guess what Batard translates to roughly in English. In a nutshell, Batard bread more or less focuses on the shape of the bread. It's kind of an intermediate between a baguette, which is long and thin, and a pain, which is a bit shorter but wider. Another distinct characteristic of Batard bread is the tapered ends versus the sharper ends of a baguette. It still maintains a crunchy crust and a soft and airy interior. Regardless of the shape, I do love French bread. One of my other favorites is a jalapeno cheddar bread that I like to make. I'll put a link to the recipe in the description if you're interested. There are few things in this world better than eating fresh bread right out of the oven. And if there's a specific kind of bread you're crazy about, let me know, especially if you have a recipe for it. Circling back to the unique flavor combinations of this challenge, at our house we turn mealtime into a flavor adventure. My wife and I love getting our kids to try foods from different cultures. One night it's Indian curry, the next it's sushi, sometimes even something off the wall like watermelon with mustard or peanut butter on a burger. Yeah, we go there. From pineapple on pizza to kimchi tacos, we're raising little taste testers with big appetites for the world. Do you have any weird food combinations you secretly love? If you're willing to share, drop them in the comments. We'll try anything. If this food challenge video didn't fill you up and you're hungry for more, click the link in the lower left. It's another food challenge where I attempted a massive grilled ham and cheese sandwich at a Bob Seger themed bar. I came ready to play for this challenge. I terminated the Sherminator in a mere 7 minutes 44 seconds, completing the challenge in the fastest known time and earning myself a super cool t-shirt. Absolutely love the design of this one. Thanks as always for watching. Tune in next week. I'll be back. And until then, stay hungry.